utter those two little words, like showing a stamped passport.
Like telling an autobiography.
Or like filling in a questionnaire.
Good day.
If you could say to the train, the ship, or the aeroplane, and go in with your...
Good day as a ticket.
Good day.
If you could say it to a strange woman, and she loved you at that very moment. Or said with a smile of regret that others had greeted her before you.
Good day.
If you could say it to the silent earth and it sprouted and produced ears of corn.
Good day.
If you could say it even to death and it understood that by approaching you it had hurried a great deal. If...
Good day could turn into a real and you open sesame. And if then you said even to the bear.
Good day.
It too, at that very moment, turned into a toy for our child. And into such a toy that needed no winding and was not easily broken. And in the same way, the snake turned into a walking stick for the old, the crocodile into a container for toys, the wild stag into a clothes rack, and the storm into a company of dancers, while man indeed turned into man.
Good day. There's nothing impossible in this world.
If in this world there reigns goodness.
Which in our mouths has turned into...
Good day.
The skies were in labor. The earth was in labor, and so was the crimson sea. And in the sea, a small red reed was also in labor. And out of the reed came smoke. And out of the smoke came flames, and from the flames dashed forth a blond youth with fiery hair and a flaming beard.
And his eyes were two blazing suns.
I'm an Armenian, ancient as this biblical Ararat. My feet are still wet from the waters of the flood. Mine, the sacred land that Noah first saw. Mine, the sword that cut down the Babylonian foe. One morning here, in Ararat's green valley, my hammer and my pick aside I flung, and lit the fire of a Chaldean altar.
Those days, both Ararat and I were young. On ancient Mount Ararat, ages for an instant sat and passed on. Lightning struck her diamond crest to destroy her timeless rest and passed on. Endless dreams of frightened men gazed upon her flanks, and then they passed on.
'Tis your turn. 'Tis your turn to marvel at her proud brow and pass on.
Down the roofs, down the edge of one of the many roofs, slides a drop of water, meets another drop, and says, "Do you know what I like in you? You don't look like anyone else."
Down the roofs, down the many roofs, two drops of water, just like all other drops, pierced by the same ray of the sun, united like a nipple of light and heavy like heavenly fruit, drop to the earth, clear as a tear of happiness.
And one says to its mate, "Do you know what I would like most of all? When I come to this world another time, I'd like to meet a drop exactly like you."
Hey! Your breasts are a snow-white cathedral, your nipples eternal lamps. Oh, let me become your verger and tend to your vernal lamps.
Be off, you foolish young suitor. My lamps to guard you're not fit. You're fickle and quickly distracted. You'd leave my cathedral unlit. The night is sensuous. The night is sweet, anointed with hashish and with luscious spawn. Along luminous roads I stroll, almost drunk. The night is sensuous. The night is sweet. Kisses come to me from the wind and the sea. Tender kisses of light blossom all around. This night, this Sunday is a feast for my soul. Kisses come to me from the wind and the sea. But my lips are still thirsty for that single kiss.
Spirit of labor on the threshing machine inside the barn lays down its head. Silence swims in a sea of stars, and the infinite calls to me with blinking eyes.
In the lake tonight, there's a secret wedding of nymphs, while far away the constant crickets sing. The breeze stirs the willow tree on the riverbank, awakening tunes as if on unknown strings.
Lying back upon the fragrant thyme, I allow each beam to touch my heart, get drunk on wines poured from eternity's giant jar, where meteors beneath strange feet are crushed.
The mind sinks easily into the lighted blue and sails, if need be, through the heavenly fires to find new stars, explore an old lost land, which my soul in exile, weeping, still desires. How pleasant it is to drift on wings of silence, hearing nothing at all but the quiet breathing of space, until my eyes are sealed in an enchanted sleep, and eternity with its planets is locked in place.
So sleep all the villagers throughout the summer. The shepherd on his cart beneath a blanket of light, the bride on a mound of hay, breast laid bare by the breeze where the Milky Way empties its pitchers through the night. Like this one night, lying under blazing skies, my peasant parents made love, drunk with desire, and so conceived me, fixing their innocent eyes on the biggest star above, the brightest fire. You have such rosy, rosy lips, and prettiest of eyes, and peeping teeth like diamond tips, and the most pretty eyes. Your cheeks are flushed with rose and milk. Your eyes, the prettiest eyes. A neck as soft as swan-down silk, and the most pretty eyes. Your locks the brightest night outshine, and eyes, such pretty eyes. A waist as slender as a pine. And pretty, pretty eyes. Your heart is harsh and hard as stone. But eyes, such pretty eyes.
secretly return to claim again your nesting place within my heart. After these years, your face in my mind's eye, voice in my ears, I feel your throb in my blood's pace and sense the softness of your breath. I burn as if you touched my cheek with tears. Past hours of ours surge in me one by one, a caravan of stars stray back with stealth, lit with a glow that I thought spent and done. Your memory makes me so rich, gives me such grace, that I would willingly share out its wealth to comfort all the wretched on earth's face.
Why can't I write upon this page your name? Why can I not spell its 2 syllables here and proclaim your name like a blazing flame that spreads my love across the hemisphere? Why can't I let myself write out your name? Your name still warms me, though we are apart. At night, like an ethereal kiss, it slips through the dark of my solitude to dart an imprint of its love upon my lips. Your name, that name which still quickens my heart. Your beauty, my love, forged that name, it seems. Though I have always known it, was it yours? Was it yours, that name that like soft sunbeams enlightened those transient days of ours, or did my love make it up in my dreams? I cannot surrender it to the world. Your name will embalm me to my last day. And when my sun sets in the narrow world, your name will flank me as I'm borne away. I can't. I won't share your name with the world.
I hate your name, as you may be hating my hands that have caressed you. I hate your name, thrust like a thorn into my tongue. And has your name any color, I hate even that color. If ever I have a daughter, she will bear your name.
Yesimanu shayastani, arevaham barnem siru. Merhin sazi vohpanavak, latsagumad larnem siru.
I love the sun-drenched, zestful taste of our peerless Armenian words. I love the languishing sad tunes of our lamentful ancient lutes, our fragrant flowers, blood-red roses, and our ripe and luscious fruits. I love the undulating dances of our fair Nigerian girls. I love our haunting dark blue skies, our crystal springs and light-soaked lakes, the summer suns and dragon winds of winter's unrelenting cold, the uninviting blackened walls of our wretched homely huts. I cherish each stone of our martyred cities, thousands of years old. Wherever I wander on earth, there in my heart are mournful airs. Our time-worn manuscripts and parchments in my mind have turned to prayers. However deep our bleeding wounds might pierce and ravage my heart's core, my orphaned land, blood-scorched Armenia, I will love you even more. No balm can soothe my restless soul, my ever-roving, yearning heart. For me, no mind, no hallowed brow glows like Nareg's or Kuchak's art. Traverse the world, no holy peak you'll find so bright, forever white. Like an unreached road to glory, I love my mountain, Ararat.
Ararat. We stand apart, staring at each other, not blinking an eye, my mountain and I. Faith, they say, moves mountains. Is there a more passionate faith than mine that bathes my mountain from head to foot as once did Noah's flood? And yet, alas, my mountain does not move, and neither do I. It stands firm, firm as a rock. But it is a mountain, and I curse my own immobility. I curse my silence. Is it for nothing, then, that this is Ararat and I, an Armenian? We stand apart, staring at each other, not blinking an eye, my mountain and I. How long will I remain rooted here, Only Satan knows. I'm mortal. I'm transient. I shall pass. And you, my mountain, will you always keep your distance? Will you never come to me?
I know too well you care not for these lines. Yet once again I open up and give myself to you page upon page. Can one eat poems? Can verse soothe stomachs or souls in pain? Forgive, therefore, this useless gift, this unwanted homage. Aip, pen, kim, ta, yech, za.
The language I write in is read but by a few. With time, even those few readers decrease. 100 years from now, our speech, though all still new with its smooth and harsh accents, will have to come to cease. Our tongue, used by our young, will surely ring no more. No one will live to quote my words or lines express my slighted poems, sprung from the heart's core, will find none to pronounce their present beat or stress. This is again more grief, added to all my griefs, already so heartrending and adverse that painfully I rest and shape and style to verse. If I sing so my claims and my beliefs, it is to delude myself that in days to come, this song of my rent heart might soothe the souls of some.
Grandfather and grandmother, two withered souls, now sit in the shade of the apricot tree, whose delicate bloom once graced her head.
Now they never cease to shake, like lovers who unexpectedly pass in the street. Only their trembling canes meet in the grass.
Nothing now will fire their blood. Song will no more touch their lips, and sperm no more, like lilies, bloom in weakened hips.
The old man's gaze, as it finds hers, fades before it probes her heart, and the sun's warmth, with cold shivers, touches her breast.
If they were to try love's simplest acts, when spring's perfume excites desire, their hearts would snap, like a glass that cracks held up to the fire.
The roses wither on their cheeks. Under the ashes, love is a spark for the breath of memory to blow out when it flames in the dark.
And now, on this spring evening, when cinnamon from the hillside fills the air, they call their love to mind, like an old prayer.
They recall the shade of the apricot tree, the easy lust increasing all the while, the sudden kiss, and then her shriek. And now, their quiet smile.
An experienced devil is better than an inexperienced angel.
Oh, no. What the wind brings, it also takes away.
If there was wisdom in beards, goats would be prophets.
Oh, if a mother-in-law were a good thing, God would have had one.
You don't soak lentils in your mouth. A lentil, a lentil, a lentil.
A stone.
A lentil, a lentil, a lentil.
A stone.
A lentil, a lentil, a lentil.
A stone.
A green one, a black one, a green one, a black.
A stone.
A green lentil, a lentil next to a lentil, a stone next to a lentil.
Suddenly a word.
A word next to a lentil.
Then words.
A lentil.
A word.
A word next to a word.
Then a phrase.
And word by word, a witless wording.
A worn-out song.
A washed-out dream.
Then a life.
Another life. A hard life.
An easy life.
Why easy?
Why hard?
But lives next to each other.
A life.
A word.
A lentil.
A green one, a black one, a green one, a black one. A pain.
A green song. A green lentil. A black one. A stone.
A lentil.
A stone.
A stone.
A lentil. When twilight rakes the clouds like a comb, and the thin sniffing wind stops like a puppy before every shrub, tree, clod or man. When the young cold shows us its strength, making us button our shirts and grumble. When the day's bark is deadened on the deep velvet and the strewn lights seem ancient adornments, once again I become naive. Once more I believe in justice. And it seems to me I shall die a natural death. Night of triumph, night full of joy. Daughter, fill the lamp. Victorious from war comes my boy. Daughter, wick the lamp. A cart is grinding by the well. Daughter, light the lamp. My boy returns with wreath and bell. Daughter, raise the lamp.
The cart bears the young body spread.
Daughter, draw the lamp. My boy lies gored. My boy lies dead.
Girl, snuff out the lamp.
Work, persist, create. Survival is the bridge.
Build new worlds.
Destroy old ones. Destruction is the bridge.
Bear new lives. Die to resurrect.
Dying is the bridge.
Be passionate.
Be wise.
Laugh. Laughter is the bridge. In his village, on a hilltop, a villager had set up shop. One morning, from the hinterland, arrives a shepherd, crook in hand, his faithful dog close by his side.
Hello!
Says he, stepping inside.
Would you sell me some pure honey?
Sure, friend, why not? It's my pleasure. Hand me your mug. Here's my measure. Any preference? The best you say, that's fine. We'll pour it straight away.
With such sweetness, with such goodwill, honey is measured and poured to fill the shepherd's mug. But as they pour, one drop of honey hits the floor. Buzzing around, a little fly rests on the drop its taste to try. Purring its way, comes cautiously and sturdily and curiously, the shopkeeper's old pussycat attacks the fly. Kills with one splat. Upon the cat's unwanted dart, the shepherd's dog jumps with a start, barks,
Woof!
and lo, raising its paw, strikes just one blow. A strong one, though, and kills the cat, leaving it flat.
My cat, it's dead. Its life's over, you brute, you beast, you son of
The
a...
shopkeeper utters a cry, and raising some heavy object high, he hits it hard on the dog's head, which falls beside the cat stiff dead.
Oh, God, my dog, my pile, my lion, curses on you, heartless villain, you shatterer, you batterer.
Etc., etc.
How could you do a thing so vile? You'll pay for this, you...
Crocodile. Thus cries the shepherd in a fit. He lifts his crook and swiftly hits the shopkeeper with one strong whack and leaves him flat upon his back.
They've murdered him! Alert! Alarm!
From shop to street, from house to farm, voices arise, angry and grim.
Alert! Alarm! They've murdered him!
Shouting, prying, cursing, crying, come the fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, children, widows, maiden, come friends, come foes, uncles, in-laws, stepdad, stepson. How can you name them one by one? They come and come from everywhere. In short, the whole village stands there.
You heinous bear! You ogre, you! What an idiotic thing to do! You came to shop or to provoke a fight by killing honest folk!
One threat is made, 10 blows are thrust. Until the shepherd bites the dust and drops down dead beside his dog.
Now send the corpse back to his stock.
But bad news spreads, and in no time, the shepherd's town learns of the crime.
Murder! Bloodshed! Are you all dead? They've killed our brother! Quick, arise!
Just like a beehive struck with surprise, frenzied and fuzzy, angry and muzzy, the whole entire population moves in frantic agitation, armed with what they can lay hands on. One grabs a stick, one a truncheon, One picks a sword, one takes a log, one a shovel, a spade, a rod, one still an axe, a knife, a gun. Some of them ride, some walk, some run, some bare of head, others barefoot. All take the neighbor village route.
You devilish, fiendish, murderous lot! Have you no heart, no fear of God? One comes to shop, his throat is cut. What sort of wild custom is that? We spit upon people like you. Spit on your name, your honor too. We'll strike and shoot, plunder and loot. Hey ho, let's go! We'll squash the foe.
And so the crowd soon come to blow. They strike and shoot and mutilate, plunder, loot, and devastate. The more the farms are put to flame, the deadlier becomes the game. They crush each other, erase the other, until they wipe out themselves forever. Would you have thought, near as they were, these villagers, close as they were, to almost form one single zone, would have a king each of its own? So the king of one kingdom hears of his people's martyrdom. He summons court, rules a decree to all subjects of his country.
Hark ye, my loyal noblemen, my soldiers, workers, countrymen, all men of trade, of shade and grade.
Behold, how vile and treacherous our neighbors, evil, envious, have marched upon us in foray, while we in guileless slumber lay, slaughtered without the slightest ruth, our precious country's precious youth. So, massacred and piteous, our very children call on us to take up arms, raise the army. We shall, though most unwillingly, with cannonball and sword of flame, in God Almighty's holy name, vengeance shall raise its worthy hand and crush for air that hostile land.
The other king orders likewise his subjects in protest to rise.
Before our God omnipotent, we charge our neighbor government of malice and barbarity, disrupting peace and harmony, of conduct such that war ignites and violates the human rights, breaching ties of fraternal love. In view of crimes mentioned above, in name of probity and trust, in name of blood spilt most unjust, in name of peace and liberty, in name of God and His glory, we raise our voices sharp and shrill, and our sharp sabers higher still.
And thus begins the dreadful war. Everywhere thunder and uproar. Cities and lands are put to fire. Blood, fearful screams, laments most dire. Ruin, misery and despair. The grim smell of death everywhere. Summer, winter, year after year, plowmen are killed, fields left untilled. And as all peaceful efforts fail, famine and drought, of course, prevail. Famine and drought mean death, mean doom. The flowering land becomes a tomb. And the survivors, to this day, ask in amazement and dismay,
what was the reason? What gave birth to this unholy hell on earth?
Telegram to the government of Aleppo. It has been previously communicated to you that the government has decided to exterminate all Armenians living in Turkey. No regard must be paid to women, children, or cripples. However tragic the methods taken for their extermination might be, without taking heed to conscientious scruples, an end must be put to their existence. Minister of Interior, Talat Pasha, September 15, 1950.
August 22, 1939. I have given orders to my death units to exterminate without mercy or pity men, women, and children belonging to the Polish-speaking race. It is only in this manner that we can acquire the vital territories that we need. After all, who remembers today the extermination of the Armenians? Adolf Hitler.
Հայր մեր, որ հերկինս ես սուրպ եղիցյանուն քո, եկես ձերկայություն քո, եղիցին գամ քո, որպես հերկինս և հերգրի, սաց մեր հարաբասոր տուր մեզ այսօր, և թող մեզ զբարտիս մեր, որպես և մենք թողունք մերոց պարտաբանած, և մի դարիրս մեզի փորձություն, այլ պրգյայի ճարենզի քո յարկայություն և զորություն և պարկ Ավիգյան, այս այլ որ հերկինս ես սուրպ եղիցիրան քո. Something horrible is taking place there in the dark. What ferocity ever made this drama spark?
How can this hellish tragedy be told? Just think, a whole nation which but yesterday breathed with mind opening to light and heart to hope, just when it was to free its clogged wings from the swamps and lift itself into the skies among the clouds, there, at that very moment, an unclean spirit, a demon of darkness that had watched the nation's growth, discharged hell's worst calamity upon its head in the shape of monstrous snakes, tigers, and jackals, which wound around the nation's legs, tore out its breast, wrenched its throat, rived out its eyes, and dug its gnarled fangs into the nation's skull to fiercely drain and ecstatically suck and smack the brain intoxicated with the gushing blood.
In the dark there, something ghastly is taking place. A nation is slaughtered. A nation fair with grace in the throes of mutation. A nation with zest to live, which had become most beautiful, most blessed.
That nation's ours! And they're killing it now! They're killing it! Help! Help! Help!
And holding back the tears in her blue eyes, on a field of ashes where Armenian life lay dying, thus spoke the German witness to our horrors.
This untellable tale I'm about to relate, I saw with my own pitiless eyes from my window upon hell, in the safety of my house, gnashing my teeth in terror and rage. With these pitiful eyes of mine, I stood witness in the city of Pardes, now turned into ash heaps. Corpses were piled up to the tops of the trees, and from the springs, from the waters, from the brooks, and from the roads, could be heard the roar of Armenian blood, and in my ears, the cry for revenge that now speaks out. Oh, do not wince as I tell this unspeakable tale. Let all men hear of man's crimes against mankind. Let all the hearts of the world lend ear. It was a death-foreboding Sunday morning, the first sunless Sunday to rise over those bodies. I stood vigil in my room from dusk until dawn, tending a girl stabbed with knives, washing her wounds with my tears. Suddenly, in the distance, a bestial mob appeared, fiercely lashing, driving 20 young maids before them. And howling lecherous songs, the men pushed them into a vineyard. Leaving the poor dying girl on her cot, I went to my window as a view upon hell, while the mob in the vineyard became a forest of men.
You must dance! When we beat the drum, you must dance!
A savage roared, and their whips began to crack against the flesh of the Armenian women, longing for death. The 20 maids began their dance, hand in hand. From their eyes the tears flowed like bleeding wounds. Oh, how I envied then my stabbed friend, the poor, beautiful Armenian girl, who with her quiet moan, cursing the universe, released her lily-white dove of a soul to the stars. In vain I shook my fists against the mob below.
You must dance! You must dance to the death! You beautiful infidels! You must dance with open breasts, smiling at us, without complaints, all the way to death! Dance with lust and lewdness!
The 20 maids fell to the ground in exhaustion.
Stand up!
The mob roared, whirling their deadly swords like snakes. Then someone rushed in with a pail of kerosene. Oh, human justice, I spit at your face. And with that fluid, they anointed the 20 maids.
Now you will dance! And here's a perfume even Arabia doesn't have!
And with a torch, they set on fire the naked flesh. The singeing bodies danced and writhed towards death. In horror, I slammed the shutters of my window as if by storm, and approaching the lonely dead girl, I asked, how shall I dig out these eyes of mine? Tell me, how? It is raining. Autumn is wet, my son. Wet like eyes that love denies and moves on. Shut the window. Close the door of the room and come and sit before me in the gloom. Sit in silence. It is raining so foul. Does it rain sometimes, my son, in your soul? Do you shiver, son? Do you feel the cold and miss the suns that once shone bright and bold, that shine no more due to unsparing fate? You are crying, my son. Though dark, a late and heavy tear I see roll down your cheek. Is it your lost innocence that you seek? Cry, son, at life's harshness. Cry as you can. Poor prey of life, cry to become a man.
The air in my room trembles with the word solitude. And I understand that the eyes are the wettest part of the body. They say when eyes freeze, someone must come. If that is not a lie, it's goodwill born of vanity. My eyes are freezing, and you cannot come. The air in my room will continue to tremble with the word solitude, resurrecting in me the thought that abysses are only to throw ourselves in. How shall I do it? I'm not a jar. I'm a flower already weary of being plucked petal by petal. Certain lies may be considered true. And I now believe in the lie we fabricated that we won't lose each other. Certain fears are equal to death, but I'm afraid that life will win, and I shall remain a chronicler of pain. Certain steps are equal to flight, and like sound teeth, I extract the thoughts from my mind. But I'm so tired, I do not feel pain. Had there only been a way not to feel that the eyes are the wettest part of the body.
Ave Maria, through the bony hands of Auschwitz's and Der Zor's extended toward you, eyes burnt with napalm, through the irreparable wounds of Hiroshima, tongues cut and minds castrated, I sigh before you, I implore you, enough, Maria. Enough, Maria, the grating of this falling roof, the mind's need, rampant evil, when the fist is strong and the conscience is good. Ave Maria. Enough, Maria. Shells hovering above us, monasteries empty, prisons jammed full, passions ravaging the world, and the poor books, the poor songs, powerless like the sighs and prayers offered to you. Ave Maria. Our supplications, do they reach you? Or is faith itself a fraud, Maria? Ave Maria.
My Lord, O Lord God, thou the donator of gifts, thou the very essence of virtue, the sole creator of all from naught. Thou who art glorified, impenetrable, formidable, redoubtable, terrifying, powerful, vehement, insufferable, inaccessible. Thou inconceivable, incomprehensible, ineffable, invisible, inscrutable, impalpable, unfathomable, thou, without beginning, without time, thou unclouded wisdom, unerring vision, true existence, thou lofty yet humble and exalted being, thou unshadowed dawn, dazzling beam, avowed light, thou undoubted confidence, unwavering repose, immutable seal, attested name, the taste of charm, the cup of enchantment, thou who art the bread that fortifieth the soul, the love of alien darkness, O indubitable promise, enviable veil, inviolable garment, covetable mantle, ornament of glory, thou who art helpful in thy greatness, thou lauded refuge, interminable grace, inexhaustible treasure, unpolluted rain, dew sprinkled at break of day, ubiquitous remedy, gratuitous cure, redoubled health, universal good tidings, O King, who honorest the slaves, O protector who lovest the poor, O ever wealthy benefactor, thou unrestrained recourse, irrevocable command, unrestricted hope, long perception, impenitent donation, all dispensing equitable right hand, impartial eye, voice of consolation, message of appeasement, news of mirth, thou living name, provident finger, confident issue, O thou behavior free from treachery, thou life-giving will, open advice, honor without jealousy, immense expedience, restricting condition, undiscoverable trace, invisible path, immeasurable image, infinite quantity, unmatched model, unparalleled pity, bounteous compassion, solemn humility, O thou redeeming kiss, and yet titles even more worthy than these are there to offer thy divinity, O hallowed, praised, blessed one, thou who art preached, evangelized, proclaimed, announced, narrated, besought with unending desire, all that thou pourest forth unto us shall be brought unto life in the discourses to follow, whereby, O blessed Lord, thou shalt rejoice for my salvation as if filled with a pleasing sense of satiation. It is not because of my futile song that thou shalt be glorified, but because of my modest supplication, let thy great salvation come unto me. Should it happen that we do not endure this unfair struggle, should there be no cure, should our strength fail us, Should we agonize, fallen upon the ground, never to rise, when death closes the last Armenian eyes, and when the last martyred Armenian dies without having known one victorious day, let us all swear that when at last we meet God in his paradise, coming to greet and comfort and make amends for our pain, let us swear to refuse his aid and say, "Send us to hell! Send us to hell again! You made us know it, alas, but too well." Keep paradise for Turks. Send us to hell. What are we, anyway? We and our land. Let us try for once not to mince our words.
If a ship,
Then aground on rocks.
if a face,
Then full of tears.
if earth,
Then petrified by fear.
if stone,
Then cracked with pain.
a great spirit,
With no flesh.
unique in qualities,
With no quantity.
brave general.
With no armies. Adoration but of the past and ruins.
What are we after all? We and our land, even if we try to mince the truth. We are tourists in our own land, guests in our own homes, a river with only one bank, a mountain which we only view from afar, an unpeopled land, a landless people, and scattered beads which cannot be restrung.
I know my obscure longing, as well as the blind man his old home. But I do not see my movements. The objects seem to hide themselves. Though unmistakably, surely I move. I live like a handless, self-winding watch. I continue to work without indicating time. And I sway between darkness and solitude. I would like to analyze longing like a chemist to understand its nature and shrouded secrets. In my efforts, the water gurgles down the gutter from an unbearable remoteness, from an unhearable remoteness. A Philistine bird with its liquid warble turns its existence into music from an unhearable remoteness, from an uncatchable remoteness. My words insult me. They are echoed from an uncatchable remoteness, an inexcusable remoteness. I walk from one wall to the other, and the sound of my steps seem to come from far away, impossibly away, inexcusably away. I'm not at all blind. Though looking around me, I see nothing. My eyes have abandoned me, have traveled to a place from where I'm so far away, impossibly away. I run after myself. I cannot catch myself. I cannot reach myself.
I should like to see any power of the world destroy this race. This small tribe of unimportant people whose wars have all been fought and lost, whose structures have crumbled, literature is unread, music is unheard, their prayers are no more answered. Go ahead, destroy Armenia. See if you can do it. Send them into the desert without bread or water. Burn their homes and churches and see if they will not laugh and pray again. For when two of them meet, anywhere in the world, see if they will not create a new Armenia.
We have always felt outcasts in moments when our thoughts wavered between life and death. And close to our wise, moving minds has been a pale Danish prince from the tragic tale. To be or not to be.
Now, in the flowering Armenian homeland, in gardens, houses, hillside villages, nearby the rocky old historic ruins, and under the vaults of new-built schools, these nimble children are shouting, playing. So many hamlets, plump, muddy, barefoot, are battling, rolling, getting up again. They are yet too young. They are yet untamed. They have not yet read the books of the world. Who are they? Where from? They don't understand. The round cheeks have not yet grown pale with the lasting question to be or not to be. Yet they, these wonderful, healthy children, with their screams and noise echoing in hills, with their gaze turned up to the world ahead, they just say, to be.
A little bird perched on a tree gives me free voice lessons. The soil teaches me patience. The bee, diligence unobserved. And the roots help me grip the mother soil. Rivulets and brooks from each valley exhort me to do kindness, like one drop of water. The mountain forces me to keep my head up and be proud. The butterfly whispers to be content with even one day's life, while the huge, distant poplar advises me that if I have to die erect and without difficulty, without torture. Not like a human who in terror of death runs head-on into walls, but to die like a tree, like a stone, serene, proud, and with dignity. I am an Armenian, ancient
as this biblical Ararat. My feet are still wet from the waters of the flood. I lived my life in ashes steeped in gore. But now, having gathered my children once more and rebuilt their nest, I once again rejoice and sing our deliverance in our new Narig's voice. I am an Armenian, as old as Ararat.
I endured. I am the ancient sprout, the old song of love mixed with the roar of bombs. I'm an Armenian, the ancient exile, returned home. Decided to keep a dog. And every night, when millions of weary shoes like unworshipped totems go into a deep slumber, when the poor buttons of our shirts released from their tight loops may breathe freely for a few hours, when only the ambulance may sometimes pierce darkness with its horns of light, I'll take my dog out for a walk to chat with him intimately in the midnight silence of the empty streets of the town. You faithful helpmate of my forefathers, sometime even a beast, today, my dear civilized dog, I'll tell him. You still don't carry in your ears telephone wires and receivers, and your natural scent is not exploited to decide by accurate chemical analysis the element of my thoughts and anguish through my musky, greasy smell. With his tail, he draws yes in the air. Dog brother, every one of us is something of a dog with an invincible faithfulness towards God, which we now call future, and towards the homeland, which I believe in your mother tongue is called bone, and towards that female, which is also love, which you may call marrow, he says with his tail, a definite yes. Dog brother, every one of us is something of a dog, and each one barks differently. Look, brother, even the walls have their wallish fate called poster in our language. On this, my dog breaks one of his hind legs from the ground and impolitely wets the well-cut stone of the wall. Then we return home. So my shoes, like a million others, may sleep at the entry like unworshipped totems. And the poor buttons of our shirts, released from their tight loops, may breathe freely for a few hours. And my dog... Well, I still don't have a dog. And I'm not sure if it's worth having one. For what if they hide telephone wires and receivers in his ears and exploit his natural scent to decide by accurate chemical analysis the element of my thoughts and anguish through my musky, greasy smell? I shall not keep a dog.
Look at the fields. New sprouts are shooting up.
Are they thorns or wheat?
I'm not sure. They are wheat perhaps to the hungry, and thorn to the well-fed who never share their bread with others.
Obscure sounds of blows and clashes echo in space. Signs of an upheaval, of a lengthy suffering endured standing up, of an assault that hesitates in the distance. All great souls, oppressed everywhere, explode like gas. The dried blood staining the ground turns into flames. The useless drops of sweat become a troubled torrent that shakes the rocks, collapses long-resisting dams.
Lord, be kind to us today. Impart your wisdom now to this tortured molecule of the world. For though they have forgotten you, still, only you can save the mindless flock of people on the road to the abyss. If you lit the wick of the mind and poured the oil of life, Lord, do not let them overturn the lamp. Let it give forth light, and with it make them seek your boundless truth.
For life, put love into the hearts of today's and tomorrow's mighty. Do not allow them to close their hearts. Let them open in love for each other, in endless communion.
Have mercy on the youth and the aged. Don't leave the children without affection, the old unprotected. Make conflict brief, and let peace and justice triumph in this sad struggle.
Shake all the fortresses, and let them crumble with their barricades of armored selfishness. Divide the wealth evenly among men. Open up your gardens, and let everyone crowd inside.
But let them not break a branch, crush a single flower. Good day. Good day. Good day. I utter those two little words, like showing a stamped passport,
Like telling an autobiography.
or like filling in a questionnaire.
Good day.
And I desire so much those two words indeed to become a passport in the whole world for all of us.
Good day. There's nothing impossible in this world. If in this world there reigns goodness, which in our mouths has turned into...
Good day.
So, like showing a passport, like telling an autobiography, or like filling in a questionnaire.
Good day.
To you, and to you all, my known and unknown humans.
Let the impossible become possible in the whole world for all of us.
Let it become possible tomorrow, or even now. Let it become possible with those two
good day.